Hi, my name is Rob and this is my 1985 Audi UR Quattro.
How you going?
Hey.
Go for a drive. Oh, let's go. So this is an 82? Or is it later than that?
It's 85.
85, okay, yep.
So it's built late 84.
So it's built after they started rallying them. It's not the...
Yes.
Is this the cars that they sold so they could rally, or is this after that?
This is after that.
After
so
that,
Michelle
yep.
Mouton was rallying the long wheelbase one.
Yes. So is this the short wheelbase?
This is the long wheelbase.
This is the long wheelbase. And so this is the one that she won the manufacturer's title in? Or driver's title?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, so if it was a short wheelbase one, it would be worth $1 million or so.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So they're substantially worth more. So
Oh, yeah.
are the short wheelbase ones the first ones?
These were the originals. The short wheelbase ones were the homologation
Okay.
for
the Group B?
The Group B, yes.
Yep. And they had did they get the flash gearbox, or only a few of them did, didn't they?
The roadway ones got I think they got the same 5-speed manual
Okay, yep.
as this, but they were 320 horsepower.
Yes.
They had Kevlar body parts.
Yes.
They were 30 centimetres shorter.
Yes.
And they still had a back seat, but it was pressed against the back of the front seats.
Oh, wow. So they literally sucked that bit out of the chassis and just chucked everything back in?
Yes, they changed the windscreen.
Yes.
They took it from a B2 Audi 80 because it's a steeper rake. Because
Yep.
the rally drivers were getting blinded by the sun.
Okay.
So a lot of the replicas have this windscreen and don't look quite right.
Okay.
But they made 214 short wheelbase.
Yes.
It's just for homologation.
So Group B homologation was obviously very low.
Yes.
Yep.
And they made 11,246, I think, of these.
Yes.
With the 3 different engines over just under 10 years.
Because I was watching a quick documentary doing some work for this, and they said the first rally that it did, it couldn't officially enter because they hadn't sold enough for homologation reasons.
Right.
And they won the rally by half an hour.
Oh.
And then Audi went, hey, this is gonna work.
History's kind of interesting because from the stuff I've read, Audis in the late 70s were regarded as like boring cars for teachers and kind of middle class, middle earner types.
Middle Germans, yeah.
They just wanted a sensible, reliable car. So
Yes.
when they said they were going to make a sports car, people were like, what, Audi? And yeah, there's lots of history about how it came to be with the Iltis. They took the gear from the Iltis 4-wheel drive, which looked like a really shonky looking Jeep.
Yes, it did. But everyone did one. You know, Mitsubishi did one, Toyota did one. There's the Lada ones. You know, back then everyone did one. All the. If you look around the world, everyone did them. They all look the same. New Zealanders even did one. I can't remember what they're called.
The Trekker.
Is it the Trekker? Yeah.
Yes. I don't know why it's these cars for me. There's just something about 80s Audis actually that just speaks to me.
Yes. And is this your first 80s Audi? I'm guessing no by that statement.
Second 80s one.
Yep.
Fourth. No, I've only owned about 9 cars in my life.
Okay, so you've almost all.
Half of them were Audis.
Yep.
The turbo only adds, I think it's about 45 horsepower.
Which makes sense. It's the 80s. It's not like now where it doubles it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because back in the 80s, 200 horsepower was a lot in a road car.
I mean the Ferrari 308 had like 207.
There you go.
So, and that was a V8.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Coupe Quattro was actually rarer than these. They only made about 3,000.
Okay. Yep.
But they had 2 production lines for the Coupe GT and the Coupe Quattro, and they hand built the UR Quattro in the middle.
Yes. I heard that. It said that 20 people only built them. Is what was that?
That's cool.
Yeah. And what did it say? It took a week to build each car.
And you can tell it was hand built just by weird discrepancies. Like it's an 84 build, it's 85 registered.
Yes.
It's got 84 dash wiring loom, but an 85 engine wiring loom.
Yeah.
So they obviously just took whatever was available on.
Well, next, right?
Made it work.
Next car, yeah, next parts.
Yeah. things like wiring are original, but I have no idea what's happened to this car through half of its life.
Yes, well, it's
It was
what
a
did we say?
UK
It was
car.
85, so it's 38 years old now. 39.
Yeah.
39 this year.
It was bought in the UK in 85. It came to New Zealand in 95.
Yes.
I have no history
Yep.
for that period.
Wow.
Audi told me it was silver from the factory, but I.
Oh wow!
I've
Oh, but you
seen-
painted it black, didn't you? And
No,
but-
it was black when I got it,
Okay.
and I've seen it stripped to bare metal, and there is no hint of any silver in
Oh,
any
wow.
layer of paint. So I don't know what happened there. But
So
I think
surely
the
someone
things
before
match.
you didn't BML it again.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
The things I have modified on this, I've tried to make reversible. If
Yes.
anyone ever wanted to go back to absolute stock,
Yep.
but it's mainly. I'm not. When I started, I had the whole idea of a resto mod and make it more modern and add extra things, which is partly why I got the 18-inch wheels originally.
Yes.
I don't know if it's because I'm getting older and more sensible, or
Yep.
just practicality, but I'm going to mirror image back towards
Yep.
as stock as possible.
I'm on your page. 10 year ago me would think that we're both crazy for wanting to keep everything factory. And again, I don't know if it's an age thing or a maturity thing or what, but I'm all about getting in a car and driving it. And I find the more original you make it, the more you actually get to drive it.
Nothing sounds like a
Sorry?
5-cylinder.
Nothing sounds like a 5-cylinder. 1985 Audi Quattro, UR Quattro. Got to put the UR in there. Original, and it's just up and left.
Oh yeah, sorry, the
Yep,
original.
that's first.
Yep,
Yep.
and reverse is right down there.
Cool, and that's my indicator.
Yep.
Cool. There we go. Where's the clutch? Oh yeah, that's all right. Oh yeah. Oh, I love the blow-off flutter. Oh look, we got more fuel.
Yeah, it varies.
It feels so 80s to me, like, I don't know, it just suits everything about it. It just feels good.
It's on poly bushers,
Oh yes.
so it'll be a bit firmer than stock, and it's on built in V6s and 40mm lowering springs.
Oh, okay, so it is lowered, right. Oh wow, there's a good bit of torque in there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's yeah, and a bit of, you get that leg go.
There. Oh, it makes all the right noises, man. You're awfully quiet, Rob.
Just listening to the 5-cylinder music. Just love this thing.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Does it rev or not really? Like,
Yeah.
like where do you rev it to?
It'll start to flash to change up about 7, I think.
Oh wow. That's a very rev happy engine then, isn't it? Sort of a 2.2 litre, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really sings above 5.
But even then, like at 4, it just wants to just give you this real nice fat bit of torque. Just there. Oh yeah. It's so digital, eh? It's like the rev counter.
Yes, and the speed, there's a bit of a delay on what you're actually doing.
Oh really? Oh man, 80s turbos are just so cool. So Rob, why this car?
I can't quite put my finger on why, but I'm pretty sure it goes back to when my dad took me to a motor show in the 80s. and I came away from the show with a carrier bag full of stickers.
Yes.
And I don't know, ever since then, this particular car has just really spoken to me.
The UR Quattro, or the long wheelbase one, or just the whole lot? Like,
yeah, the whole lot, but particularly long wheelbase.
Yep.
I think it just looks better.
I think they do too.
The short ones look kind of odd.
Yeah,
awkward.
I think so too.
Well,
The short one is odd, like you mentioned earlier. The back seat's literally been bumper forward. So, really, the short one was built because this one was too long, wasn't it?
Yes, so
rather
it handled
than
better and corner better.
Yeah.
But this was how it was designed to look. And this, and it's actually quite a roomy car. You can get 4 adults in there comfortably.
Okay. Yep.
I wouldn't put 5 in, even though in theory you can.
So there's a 5th seat belt?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a reasonable amount of leg room because of the length of it.
Yep. And so, so you said earlier there's a 200 horse, was it?
Yes, 197.
197 horse, and how many kilograms? Or
About, I can't remember. I think it's about 1450.
Oh, so it's still not heavy, really?
Certainly not by modern standards. But its weight distribution's off.
Yeah, it's all here.
Yeah, 62,
and then they put the
38.
last little bit at the back.
Yes.
Because the motor's there, isn't it?
Yep, right in front of the axle. Yeah, so it's really front heavy. I suppose with a full tank of 94 litres of fuel, it balances out more.
True. Yep.
But yeah, it definitely, you probably noticed it will want to understeer if you until you put the throttle down, and then it powers around the corner.
I didn't feel that I got it to that level at all. I was just tutuing, but yeah, I just liked that. To me, it was that big woof of torque in the middle, and I know it's the irony is that it's inefficient is why it's so full, but it's just such a cool feeling, you know. You're like driving along, $3,000, and then it just gives you this big lift, and off you go again.
I love that.
Oh yeah,
it's a real character to the way it drives.
What this particular car? You said you bought it 8 years ago.
Yes.
Describe how it was when you bought it.
I was very optimistic about the state of it when I bought it.
Mm-hmm.
So
you've nicknamed it, haven't you?
Yes.
What is its nickname?
I called it Rusty.
Yes.
For very good reason.
Yes.
I knew it was rusty. It had big pieces of carpet tape covering the holes in the bodywork, and you could see where the holes were.
Yep.
But I don't think I really understood how hard that was to fix properly.
Yep.
I didn't fix the rust myself. I don't have those skills, but a body shop took 9 months to return it to me.
Yes.
And then my assumptions about it being in reasonable mechanical state were also optimistic.
Yes.
So I ended up having to basically take everything off underneath the car and redo wiring, every piece of rubber, every pipe. I really don't think there's any piece of rubber left that's original because it was all cracked, it was all perished. And as soon as I started using it, the ones that weren't leaking started to leak because they were hard and no longer sealing.
So you were the kid in the candy store, weren't you? You saw the car you always wanted and had to get it.
I'll find the picture of when I first saw it because my face says it all.
Okay.
My initial estimate was 15 grand 1 year.
For the panel or for the whole car?
For the whole car.
Oh wow.
Because I thought it was mechanically good.
Yes.
Which it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
The panel and paint cost 11 and the car cost 6. So there's my budget blown before I even got to anything else.
Yep.
So I've put a lot of money into it now.
Yep.
And it's been, it was 7 years to get it on the road properly.
Yep.
So
you've only really had it on the road for a year?
It passed a warrant 2.5 years ago.
Yep.
For 6 months and then failed again.
Yep.
And then, and that was the thing of, it was working until I used it and then things broke.
Yep.
So, yes, really, about a year, 18 months it's been just, you can jump in it and drive.
And so what have you done then? So you've done the panel and paint, you've done all the bushes underneath. What have you done to the engine?
I've done the head gasket.
Yes.
So I had the head gone through by a specialist. He just relapped the valves. The exhaust manifold was leaking, so he had to flatten that off and new gasket on there. While it was off, I took the turbo off, got that rebuilt. I apparently has a crack in the exhaust manifold that will give me pain one day.
Okay.
Or the exhaust housing, sorry.
Yes.
Are
they a funky rear turbo, or is it just the turbo?
They're a bit odd.
Okay.
Like the two houses, the intake and the exhaust housing is kind of separated by a centre piece.
Oh wow! So there's
So
like
they're about that wide.
So they've got like a big roller bearing with the shaft. The shaft's quite long in them.
They're quite an unusual shape. You can still get them.
So they almost look like an old generator off an American car.
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, they're an odd shape, and they're right where you can't get to them.
Ah, of course.
So you've got to take the intake manifold, then the
motors
exhaust,
are like this, aren't
then the
they, on
turbo.
these?
Yeah, the motor's there.
Yep.
Forward.
Yep.
Cam belt, you've got about that much room in front of the engine.
So is it motor out for a cam belt?
You can do it. You've just got to take the bumper off, the lights out,
Okay.
radiator out helps. Don't need to.
Far out.
And the crank bolt is a 450 Newton bolt. So I had to buy a massive torque wrench just to tighten up that one bolt.
Yep.
So yeah, it's got some quirks. I've replaced all the pipes in the engine, all the low and high pressure lines on the power steering.
Yep.
It's got hydraulic brake booster and power steering.
Factory, like that's what they had.
Yep.
Yep.
It's got a pressure accumulator that they call the bomb because it looks like a cartoon bomb.
Yeah.
And apparently that has 18 bar in it.
Oh.
So I've replaced that. It was
Good. Yeah, I would have too.
When I cracked it loose, that was a very terrifying moment.
It would have been.
It had no pressure in it at the time.
Yep.
I was very, very, very careful with that. I put a Miltech exhaust on it because it had an aftermarket exhaust that had like 6 holes in it. Had the dash rebuilt by an electronics expert because it was flickering and speedo wasn't working.
So the cluster bit.
Yeah, the digital dash.
Yep.
And then the voice computer I got rebuilt because it was just a bit glitchy.
When you say the voice computer.
It talks.
Oh, I didn't notice. What is it?
It has voice diagnostics.
In German?
It's a German lady, but she speaks English.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
She's called Patricia.
Really?
Yes. The lady who recorded the actual voice was Patricia. I can't remember her surname. German lady. She recorded English and German, and it can say I think about 30 different phrases. So yeah. There's a long list of other things I've replaced on it. There's so much. There was dodgy wiring. There was no wiring at all for the stereo.
Yep.
Someone had, I don't know, just deleted it.
Yeah.
There was an old alarm in there, so the ignition wiring was just a real mess.
Yep. And that's your thing? You're keen to do wiring? Like you're jumping into it?
I'm happy to. I don't mind wiring.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people hate it, but
I don't mind wiring.
Cars like this, it's simple.
Yeah.
You have a wire from a thing to a thing.
If you had to choose one of the mods you've done to this car, what is the one that gives you the most joy?
I would say the subwoofer.
Mm-hmm.
I think people on the internet were upset because I put a subwoofer in an Audi Quattro, but I just love it. I love a good stereo.
Same.
I mean, even though usually if you say anything about stereos on an Audi forum, they'll say you've got a 5-cylinder engine, you don't need a stereo.
Yep.
But yeah, I love a good stereo, and I've got an 8-inch sub in the back.
Yep.
And I just love the feeling as it kicks you with the bass.
Yep. What's the piece of advice that you'd give Rob the day he bought this?
Don't do it.
Really?
Buy a finished one.
Would you?
Yes and no. As you know, there's a huge amount of pain and a huge amount of pleasure in restoring your car yourself.
Yep.
And there were definitely times where I thought, what am I doing? I've put 30 grand into this thing.
Yep.
It's a car that's not drivable. I need to put another 15 more into it to make it right.
Yep.
And you think, why do I bother? You know.
Yep.
But then, when it starts, when something works, when you fix the thing,
yep.
It's just it's such a great feeling.
And there's nothing better than your car braking. And I know that sounds weird, but your car braking, you're getting so frustrated, you just about want to bloody burn it to the ground. And then you figuring it out, be it on your own or with help of mates or the internet or a combination of the two, and then driving it again.
Yes.
That bit right there is worth all of that earlier part. And I think people that don't do that part don't realise how good this part is. That you can't get that out of that. There's a brand new car sitting over there that Rob's test driving, and it's just not the same.
It's not. And things like, I would say, I had it nearly working for probably 3 years.
Yes.
And it never quite ran right. There was always a hiccup around 4,000 revs.
Yep.
And there's about 6 things that can go wrong with this car that make it, the ECU cut the engine at 4,000.
Mm-hmm.
And 4,000 is right where the fun starts.
Of course it does. That's what I was saying earlier. It's
So you'd
right
be
when
like,
it starts to get interesting.
Oh.
Yep.
And it was so frustrating. I changed this, I changed that, I did this. Eventually, I finally twigged it was the fuel pump. And I got the new fuel pump and I put it in there, changed the filters, went for that first run, and just sheer pleasure of like, this is how it's supposed to drive.
Yep.
This is awesome.
Yep.
And that, for that, it's worth it.
Yep. Money's no object. What car do you have instead of this? And so I premise this with, to use it like this.
I think maybe, I think the latest Audi RS3.
Yep, okay.
It sounds like this.
Yep. They're one of my favourite cars on the entire planet, so you're speaking to the choir. Yeah.
It's
I love me a hot hatch.
double the power of this, but I drove one for a week, and that's a car that you can have fun at a 60k on a windy road.
Yep.
And you're not, like an RS6, it wants to go 200 at all times.
Yep.
Whereas the RS3, you can actually put it in second and actually have some fun with it.
Yep.
Throw it around a bit.
Yep. Yeah, it's not too fast for our roads.
Yes.
Yep.
I mean, it is fast.
Yes.
If you actually drive it flat out, you'd be going ridiculous speeds, but you don't have to enjoy it. Same reason I really love the Polo GTI, the 1.8 turbo one.
Yep.
That was awesome. Manual, the one I
Yep.
drove.
You got it good with doing what you're doing. Doing the So what do you do? We'll just do I always get it wrong.
Drivelife.co.nz, that's
you.
my side gig, so I review cars.
It's quite fun. Rob gets all sorts, from sports cars to commuter cars and everything, and every so often he's kind enough to let me go with him, and we're getting some neat cars like that bloody $500,000 BMW or $250,000 BMW the other week.
That was ridiculous.
That thing was mental. And what's next? So you've got this, you've got it on the road, you're driving it. Is there the next thing to fix, or is it a get some K's under it?
For this, drive it as much as possible.
Yep.
Get to some events, just enjoy it. It's got some things that need fixing. I've got a new heater core to go in, which is a big job.
Yes, it is a massive job. That's bigger than a motor.
It's not awful with this. 5 bolts to take the dash out.
Oh, okay.
But obviously you've got to take all the ancillary stuff out
that's
first.
what I mean.
But yeah, it's dash out, center console out,
Yep.
and it's right down the bottom.
Of course.
But yeah, it smells like hot coolant when the heater's on.
Yep.
So there's definitely a
drip.
a tiny leak there.
Yep.
I've got a short list of just little things that the headlight washers don't work. They just need plumbing in properly.
Yep. And let's be fair, you don't really need them here.
No, they don't need to work.
No.
I thought about taking them off, but they kind of look 80s cool. So
I'd leave them there.
yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, that's it really. A few little things. Something's going to break.
It's destined, eh?
Oh yeah. Well, it needs a new battery right now because this one apparently has been leaking. So I've got rust in the bottom of my battery tray.
Oh no.
So I need to sort that soon. But yeah, keep it, drive it. Yeah, makes sense. Oh, hi dog.
Hey. Need to be in the end, eh? Cool, man. Well, thanks for letting me drive your car.
You are very welcome.
I had heaps of fun. That torque is the one for me. Just that big old 80s turbo it's just something to be in love with. And the noise, of course.
Yeah.
The noise. I think the car needs to be louder, but I just like loud cars, but that's just me.
I actually have a pipe that replaces the rear silencer.
Yes?
It was too loud for me. It was...
Did it sound cool though? Like it was fun for shits and giggles?
It sounded amazing.
Yep.
But between about 90 and 110, you got a real, like almost a pressure vibration.
It was
awful.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And you just couldn't drive it on the motorway like that.
Yep.
So yeah, I've still got the straight pipe to bolt back in if I felt like being loud, but yeah, maybe I'm too old for that now.
Cool, man. Well, thank you. I really enjoyed that.
Thank you. That's right.
Attention, brake system defective. Please fasten seatbelt. Please switch lights off. Attention, release handbrake. Please check.
So good, eh?